Morning. Let's get started with a bit of coffee here. Had an okay night of sleep and not too much going on at the moment. The weather over here in Denmark is, so-so. There's been a couple of days that have been incredibly warm, and then there's been some rain, and then it's really warm again. And so sometimes it's a little bit tricky to sleep because the bedroom is so freaking hot. But could be a lot worse. Today I thought I would talk about something that I find very interesting, and it's all about this idea of vocation as a calling and figuring out what you want to do with your life in terms of what kind of work you want to engage in. Obviously, a lot of the time that you spend in your life outside of time with your family is going to be in pursuit of some type of work. Now that could be traditional or untraditional. And as a young person, you are grappling with what kind of future you want to build for yourself. And it can be very difficult to know what you want to do when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, when you're deciding on what you want to study or potentially where you want to work straight out of school. And I think a lot of those decisions are influenced, obviously, by your parents, your peers, and the culture that you're in. And it's not necessarily the case that you choose the vocation or you choose this type of, let's say, study that aligns with what you truly want to do. And perhaps you have no idea what you truly want to do, or you think you know what you want to do, but then it turns out 5 years later that wasn't actually the case. And I think that this seems to be a perennial problem in our times because we have the luxury in some sense of choosing what we want to do, because we live, especially in the Western world, in a world of abundance in some sense. And this is one of the great benefits of living in the society that we do, is that we have the possibility to have people specialize in all sorts of different things, and they can make a living doing that, and it also benefits the rest of society. And it's not like you have to do some crazy thing. It could be that the kind of work that resonates with you would be working as a carpenter, which is an essential type of job. Or it could be any other thing. It could be that it is a doctor, maybe even a lawyer. I don't think that was that. I don't think that is the case for most people, but that can certainly be the case. In all I wanted to say here is that if this is a situation that you're grappling with, whether this be as a young person, you're trying to figure out what you want to study, or maybe you have spent a few years in your professional career and it doesn't feel right, feels empty, feels meaningless, then maybe it's time to try and reevaluate the choices that you have made and try and rekindle and connect to glimpses of the kind of vocation that you were meant to be doing. And another thing to keep in mind is that you can also cultivate these things next to your actual full-time work, because a lot of us have responsibilities, we have families that we need to sustain and feed, and so it's not necessarily possible to pursue whatever it is that you need to pursue or what you deeply want to do and make a living. And so there's also an opportunity to be able to cultivate that outside of work, and that will certainly give your life a new dimension of meaning. And one great book that I've found to find this path for yourself is this book, Mastery by Robert Greene. And he sort of looks at a bunch of incredibly successful, although I don't love that term, people, because they have pursued the things that really resonate with themselves. You know, it is people like it's authors, it's great thinkers, inventors, it's Leonardo da Vinci, it's Mozart, Jung. It's like all of these people that have followed their diamond in the Greek sense. And I think there is something to be learned for all of us in this type of book. And it talks about how to find your true calling, and also how do you cultivate it, and how do you become a master of that craft, right? Which is also an important aspect of it, or trying to, you know, accumulate skills, become better and better at the thing that you really love spending time doing. And I think it's just a good starting point. I don't think you necessarily need to read the whole thing. I think there are a bunch of helpful chapters in this book. And you can also find videos on YouTube where he speaks to it. But I think it's speaking to an essential problem, essential solution that a lot of us could benefit from. So I highly recommend that you check this out.